So there I was, pulling up my dress white pants. They had gotten all the way up to my hips when all of a sudden my heart stopped beating for a second. My pants wouldn't go past my hips easily. I have to be at a sailor of the quarter board, which is being recognized as being the best sailor at the command for that quarter within a few hours, and I can't get my dress pants on. My only pair that I have, and they're tailor-made to me, to my body, to the length, everything. It would take 2-day turnaround time to get a new pair of pants done. I am completely, I'm just at a loss for words at what to do at this point. So I start to breathe, okay, and I start to grab a hold of the pants, pull them more tightly, use my muscles and strength, and I pull up the pants. I get them past my hips. Now I'm up to my waist, and I go to button, and they can't even button them. I suck in my waist, and I'm able to button the pants. At this point, I don't know what to do. I'm in a pair of pants that are supposed to fit loose and look, kind of loose like dress pants look, and they look like a wetsuit on my body. They're skin tight. I don't even know if I can bend over because the crotch will just rip out of them. I have to be at this board where I'm being interviewed, and they're gonna look at my entire uniform within a few hours. And I'm supposed to be the best sailor of the quarter. Completely embarrassed, honestly, I thought about not even showing up. But really, why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you about this situation? How did I even get to this point where I'm about to show up to this? I had just gained 35 pounds of body fat within 3 short months. 35 pounds of body fat. Do you know how much body fat that is? A pound of body fat is about that big. I gained 35 pounds, was packed on my stomach, my hips, and my butt, pretty much. How did that happen? How the heck did I gain 35 pounds of body fat in just a few months? The reason was I was trying to build my body up. I was trying to look good. I wanted to have that good looking body. You know, the body where when you walk in like to a gym and everyone just looks over at you and says, wow, and they look back and they're just like, wow, do you see that guy? He's big, man. He looks good. I wanted to have that Brad Pitt body, the stomach, the abs where you can see clearly the whole 6-pack, every line in them. I wanted to have big muscles. I didn't want to be skin and bone. I wanted to have big muscles, be able to see them clearly. And so I'd read a bunch of stuff online about how to eat, how to do, basically a lot about nutrition, what to eat, what not to eat, and how to work out, how not to work out. And I was looking at all these things, and I thought I knew what I was doing, and then I did it, and I completely screwed it up. It was horrible. I was trying to build muscle, look good, get lean, whatever, and I ended up looking like a darn marshmallow man. It was completely the opposite of what I was going for. And I think the reason that it got to that point was because of just so much information out there, online, available for people, that, how do you know what the right thing to do is, right? So what ended up happening was this went on for, about 2 years. 2 years. I was reading everything I could about weight loss, about gaining weight, about losing weight, how to build muscle, how to be lean, all these different things. And I was reading course after course after course. I was buying book after book after book. I'm reading from this person, taking this person's 8-week trainer, taking this person's thing, and I'm doing all these things. I'm talking to people that know what they're talking about. And after 2 long years of just, I guess, the school of hard knocks, right? Just trying to figure it out, because I didn't have a personal trainer. I didn't have someone that just like, hey, this is what you do, this is what you got to do. I was just trying to figure this whole thing out. And when you do it that way, it's hard. You got to put on body fat, you got to screw up because you learn from your mistakes, but you got to be able to keep going, right? And that's what I did. I was committed. I just kept pushing through, right? So 2 years go by, finally, you know, the craziest thing, right? I'd been counting, because I learned about counting calories and all this thing, and I've been counting my calories for 2 years. I didn't miss a day of counting my calories for 2 years, right? And suddenly, something happened one day. I'd come home, just like a normal day, and I was getting ready to sit down and add up my calories before I ate my dinner, and something was different inside of me. I didn't feel the need to log my calories that day. Something was changing inside of my mind. Something was happening, right? And I'm going to come back to this in a second, right? What I want to talk to you about first is when I was, when I was going through everything and I was trying to learn all these different things, leading up to this point at the 2-year mark where something special happened, right? When I was doing all this stuff and I was going through all these courses, what I ended up realizing about the weight loss industry, about everything that you know and think you know about weight loss, it's all screwed up. Think about every fad diet that's out there right now. Right now the big one is ketosis, the ketogenic diet, eating high levels of fat with this idea that you're going to put your body into ketosis, and it's because you're eating fat, you're going to burn fat. And before that, it was the paleo diet. The paleo diet was a big thing a few years ago where you had to eat whole foods. You couldn't eat carbs. The exact opposite. Well, no, actually it's similar. They both don't like carbs, but the paleo diet didn't focus on fats like the way ketogenic diet does. But anyway, the point was all these fad diets were coming up with these ways basically to make money on people that don't know what they're doing. Because if you knew anything about weight loss and you understand how it works, you would never even think about one of those crazy things, right? So let me explain that, why, right? So the reason I say that, let me give you an example. So a guy goes to the doctor, right? He's got shoulder pain. His shoulder's been killing him, right? He doesn't know what the problem is. He didn't even do anything. It just woke up one day and hurt, right? So he goes to the doc, and the doc looks at his shoulder and says, well, does it hurt when you just, oh yeah. Well, here, just take some Motrin and it should help with the pain. It should just go away on its own. Maybe, give it a couple weeks. A couple weeks go by, nothing happens. The guy gave him Motrin, right? So he goes to a different doctor. Hey, man, my shoulder's hurting. What do you think I should do? Well, here's some Tylenol. Try Tylenol. See if that. Just take that for a while and see if it goes away. Okay, so he takes Tylenol for the pain. Pain goes away, but he's tired of taking these pills for pain all the time. He goes to the doctor. Is there anything you can do? I'm tired of taking all these pills. He's like, well, is the pain bad? Yeah, the pain is killing me now. It's getting worse. Okay, well, here's some Vicodin for the pain. So he gives him Vicodin. Oh, geez, everyone's giving me pills for my shoulder. It's like he goes to finally finds a doctor that looks at his shoulder and says, oh, your shoulder's been dislocated. Here, let me pop it into place. It pops the shoulder into place. Pain's gone, right? So that's exactly like the weight loss industry is to me, the diet industry. All these weight loss fad diets, they're giving you pain medicine just to get you through the pain that you're feeling about weight loss, but not going to the source of the problem. The source of the problem and fixing the source, which is the dislocated shoulder. Once you fix the source of the problem, you no longer need the pain medicine. You no longer need the fad diets. And to me, that's exactly what they all are, is they're just someone's treating the symptoms instead of going straight to the source and attacking the source, is what I'm trying to say, okay? So the way to really understand, I want to go back now to what had happened a couple years ago, right? So a couple years ago, not a couple years ago, after 2 years in, right, to the diet, and that special thing happened to me, and I no longer needed to count the calories. I didn't know what was going on. So the next day goes, I didn't count them again. I had realized that I just understood it, right? It was almost like a mechanic, okay? A mechanic who's been changing the oil. He must have done at least like 10,000 oil changes, right? He's been doing this a long time. And he's done all these oil changes, right? but he's still opening up the manual and following the steps in the manual on how to change the oil. It requires him to think and process and use his brain power to read through this manual and mark off the checklist when he just knows how to do it. He could do it with his eyes closed. He could go in there and he could just change the freaking oil without even probably halfway asleep and do it. And he would never even consciously have to think about what he's doing because it's inside of his brain, right? And I was like, what is this called? And so I didn't know what it was called, so I call it the internalization method. That's what I call what this is. When you've learned something and you've got it inside of your subconscious mind and you know it, I call that the internalization method. And that's what had happened to me. I had internalized weight loss. I just knew what I needed to do because I had been doing it day in and day out for the past 2 years, and I just had it. I just had it, man. So you have two options. You have two options right now. One option, you can go out and continue to do these fad diets. You know what's wrong with a fad diet? It's not permanent. You know what happens when you do a fad diet? You try it and you try it. You might find one that works. You might find this one doesn't work, this one doesn't work, this one doesn't work. Oh, you know what? This one, I got some results with it, but I couldn't keep doing it long term. After 6 months on it, I just couldn't take the diet plan anymore, so I stopped. That's exactly what happens when you follow these fad diets. Okay, they're not permanent because you're treating the symptoms and you're not going to the source of the problem, right? So you have two options, right? Two options. One, go down that route, and hopefully someday you find the right information and you finally clicks in your mind, right? And it took me a long time, and I've been through almost every course out there before I finally put the pieces together and it just clicked. I got that aha, that light bulb went off, ding, and everything just made sense. Like the Matrix, right? All of a sudden everything looks different now once you see it, right? So that's one option. Option two is you find somebody that's internalized the information, and it'll fast track your way to where you want to go. Let me give you an example. So I struggled with my golf game for, must have been 10, 12 years. I mean, I played since I was a kid with my dad. I just sucked. I mean, I would get up there, I would swing, I was strong, you know, I'd hit the drive and the ball would go freaking 200 yards straight up. I'm like, yeah, look at that sucker. And then it would go whoosh, and it would just fly 75 yards to the right. We call that a slice. And it would freaking go in the woods, out of bounds. I lost every game. I'd lose 20 balls, and we'd spend at least an hour looking for my balls. So the game lasted way longer because of me, right? And I sliced for at least 10 years. I never knew how to fix it. And I'd been playing. People would, you know, I'd play with people. No one ever brought it up, how to fix it. Maybe no one knew, right? So what ended up happening was, hang on, something's here, whatever. So what ended up happening was eventually one day I was stationed in Washington State. I'm in the Navy, right? I was stationed in Washington State, and I was on a driving range, and I decided I wanted to get good at golf. I didn't know how. I didn't know what was going to take, so I decided I'm going to go every single day until I get good. So every day after work, I would go to the golf course, I'd go to the driving range, and I would hit the balls until it got dark and I had to go home, until they closed, until they kicked me out. I was there every day. Finally, one day, this guy comes up to me. Maybe he was inspired because he's seen me there so often trying to get good at golf. And he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, I noticed you got a slice there." I said, yeah, I know. I've had one for a while. And he's like, "You know, I could help you with that." I'm like, "Really? You could help me with that? Like, what would you do to help me with that?" It's like, all you got to do is, you know, when you're swinging the club, I know when you have your club in your hand, here's the club coming out this way, right? You have the club in your hand. When you're coming through, you're coming back But when you're coming back through, you're keeping your hands out. Did you used to play baseball? Yeah, I did. Well, that's why. Because when you hit a baseball bat, it's like that. Well, not in golf. In golf, when you come back and you come through, you got to turn the club back over. Because see, when the club's like this, when you're straight, but when you bring it hands back like that, it's like that. So when you come through and you hit the ball, it puts a spin on the ball because you're hitting the ball at an angle. But if you get your hands back over, the club face turns straight, hits the ball flat, and it'll go straight. This guy, within less than a minute, changed my golf game forever. I now have a 320-yard drive with a little tiny draw to it. It no longer slices. I never slice. From one guy making a comment. It turns out that guy ended up being a PGA certified pro. He had his pro card. He played on the PGA. He had internalized the golf game. Just like the mechanics internalized oil changes, and just like you can internalize weight loss. He had internalized the golf game into his mind, and he's seen me, and he knew exactly what thing I needed to fix, and told me, and it changed my game. Completely changed my game. I went from, couldn't break 100. If you don't know what 100 is, 72 strokes is like expert level. If you finish 18 holes in 72 strokes, one stroke is one swing, 72 strokes, perfect game of golf. 100 is not very good. I got all the way down to 80, which is freaking amazing, right? From one guy giving me advice. Now, I'm not sitting here telling you that you need to go get a personal trainer. That is not what I'm saying. Although, if someone that actually knows this stuff that well, that you know, then certainly get information from them. Of course. But what I'm saying is you need to find someone that's internalized this information, because guess what? If you find that person, instead of taking 10 years, I could have fixed my golf game in 1 minute, right? The same thing. I've internalized weight loss. It took me 2 to 4 years to get to that point, right? Imagine being able to know what I know within a short period of time, right? How amazing would that be? You could literally be losing weight. Let me tell you what it's like when you achieve internalization in weight loss. You eat whatever you want. You can eat anything you want. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym if you don't want to. You can go to the gym if you like. Guess what? You know what else is cool? You can do ketogenic diet if you want. Guess what else you can do? You could not do a ketogenic diet. You could do paleo diet. You can do whatever other freaking diet that pops up on the market. It doesn't matter. You can do any diet you ever want to do. You know why? Because any diet freaking works. Any of them work. They all have the same reason that they work. There's nothing magical about one diet over another. The only reason any of the diets actually work is because of one same principle. That's it. The same principle is common among all of them. That's why they all work. That's why there's before and after pictures on every single freaking diet. Because they all work. Does this blow your mind, right? They all work. But it's not the freaking diet that's going to make you lose weight. It's the principle of weight loss, okay? You need to internalize the information. Once you understand weight loss and you understand how it works, let me tell you what it is, right? I just lose weight anytime I want. I can gain weight if I want. I can lose weight if I want, like that. And guess what? I never have to consciously think about it. I never have to sit there and think about what I need to do. It just happens. Let me give you an example, right? When you wake up in the morning, okay? When you wake up in the morning, you've probably got a routine that you follow, right? You follow that routine, right? Every morning you wake up, you follow the same routine. You follow the same routine. You follow the same routine. Eventually, you don't think about that routine, right? You don't. You just do it. If someone comes in and tries to change your routine, you fight back. You say, no, I'm used to doing it this way. I like it this way. You know why you like it that way? Because you don't have to consciously use any power of your brain to do that. It's into your subconscious, which means you get to relax. Your conscious mind gets to relax, and your subconscious just goes and takes it over, and you're out in la la land, right? Because you've internalized that information, right? So that's what I mean by you don't have to think about it anymore. Just like breathing. Breathing is a perfect example. Breathing is, when was the last time you sat there on the couch and be like, okay, I need to make sure I breathe in, because if I don't breathe in, I'm gonna die. Oxygen is the single most important resource in this planet that I need to take in the most of. So let me make sure that I breathe at least once every 10 seconds. When was the last time you did that? Never, right? You don't need to think about breathing because you've internalized the information. Okay? And I'm just trying, I've given so many examples because I really want you to understand this concept, because no one's talked about it before, but I just want you to understand, you can have this with weight loss. You can have the body that you've always dreamed. You don't need to struggle with weight loss anymore. You don't need to be upset at yourself because you can't follow some stupid diet that you were never supposed to follow to begin with. You're not supposed to be you're not supposed to be at work being that person that's be like, I can't eat that. I can't eat that bread. That bread is, I can't eat carbs. I can't eat bread because I'm on a diet. How stressful is that? Did you got to live your life telling people what you can and cannot eat? What if you need to go out to a restaurant with a bunch of people? How the hell are you going to decide what you can eat on the menu? What if you go to a friend's house and they're cooking? Are you just going to be a freaking hobbit and never have a freaking life because you're on a diet? Get the fuck out of here. That's why people fall off the wagon. That's why people don't stay on these diets long term, because they're stupid. You can't follow this stupid shit long term. It's just not natural anyway. There's so much food in this world that's enjoyable that you should be able to eat. You shouldn't be having these limitations set on yourself. And why would you? You only live once. Why not enjoy your life? Why not have the body of your dreams and still eat everything you want to eat? Imagine how good that'll feel. Imagine the confidence that you'll have when you have that body. You'll be able to do everything you've ever wanted. You won't have the stress and the embarrassment of failure, of not being able to control your body weight. And it's never been your fault. You just haven't had the right information. Okay? Now, I have something really special that I'm offering right now. Okay? It's very, very special to me. And it's everything that I know. I've spent so much time trying to figure out how I can transfer what I know to you in a way that doesn't take you 2 years or 4 years to figure out. I was trying so hard to figure this out. How can I do this? Every course I've been to is 8 weeks. Every single course I've ever been to that was any good, that I learned something from long term, was 8 weeks. Why was that? Why? The reason it was 8 weeks, I learned this later on, was that's how long it takes to develop a new habit. It takes 8 weeks. It's proven. That's why you need 8 weeks to develop a new habit. Once you develop a new habit, if you do it the right way and you're given the right information in the right format, in a simple to understand way, you can change a habit into a new habit. So right now, your habit that you have is being overweight. The lifestyle that you've created is not your fault, but it's still there, is being overweight. That's what's causing you to be overweight, is your choices in your life and your habits that you have. Now you give me 8 weeks. I'm going to take you from here and put you into a new habit, and it's not going to be painful, it's going to be enjoyable, and it's going to be simple to follow. All you have to do is just follow a simple step, a few minutes a day, and you can change your habit and be on the road to a whole new life, a whole new body. No more health problems, never having to worry about heart disease, clogged arteries, type 2 diabetes, losing your limbs. None of that will ever be in the equation for you ever again. And I want that for you. I want that for you because I'll tell you why I want that for you. The reason I want that for you is I have family that's overweight, and I understand how stressful that can be. Some of my best friends are overweight, and I know that they just don't have the right info out there. And I know if they did have the right info, that they would be able to do it, and they wouldn't have these worries that they have now. And I want to help people save their life. Call me selfish, but it makes me feel good to help other people. So I'm actually doing this for me, not for you, because I want to help people in the best way I can. And what's a better way than saving lives? Potentially saving lives. Saving someone from getting their arm cut off because they have type 2 diabetes. Forget the bodybuilders that want to just look good. I don't care about them. I don't care about taking your game to the next level, even though I could do that. I don't care about that. I care about the guy that's been lied to his whole life. His life's on the line. He's borderline going to have a heart attack. And doctors telling him pretty soon he's going to start losing limbs. And he doesn't got long left to live if he doesn't change his lifestyle. Those are the people that I want to help, because I feel that's just, for me, has the most benefit for what I want to do. So that's why I'm doing it. And I really hope that you can find your way to getting internalization with weight loss, because it'll change your game. When I counted those calories for all those years, 2 years, that sucked. Holy crap. That really sucked. You know, I spent more time preparing for my meals and counting the calories in that day and the mental power involved in that than just eating a meal. It was a nightmare. I couldn't go places to eat. I couldn't go out to freaking, my wife would want to take me out to a restaurant, and I'd be like, well, they don't have the calories on the restaurant. I don't know what I'm eating. How am I going to count my calories? What a horrible way to live. I mean, come on, man. I know you want to lose weight, and I know you're desperate, and I know you're willing to try those things, because I was too. But there's a better way. You just got to follow me and go ahead, check it out. I got a special deal right now, especially for people. This is my, I'm still building the product right now, believe it or not. I'm really excited about it. I'm building this product, and I've got the outline, I've got the format, everything's already here. Don't have to research the info, baby. It's already here. I want to teach it live. I'm not going to do pre-stage stuff. I want to have people there, and the first group that joins, that's with me, the beta users, if you will, you're going to be there. You're going to be helping me form this program. You're going to be giving me feedback. You're going to be letting me know what works, what I should change, and what I should add. There's going to be a ton of stuff in this course. There's apps. The app's already halfway made. There's going to be, the apps is your personal trainer app. It's going to have a ton of stuff on there, from anything you could ever want when it comes to weight loss in one location. Anything you'll ever need, I'm going to be putting into this app. I'm also developing a game app that's actually going to simulate freaking like competing, like you're one person, you're going to be dealt a card. You're this many pounds overweight, the other person's this many pounds overweight, and the goal of that game is to get down to a healthy level of body fat. And you don't win the game until you get there. And you got to go around this. There's going to be craving cards. There's going to be appetite cards. There's going to be all these different things. And it's going to really just drive home the internalization of this freaking plan, man. Oh man, there's just so much coming. You just got it. You got to be there for it. So I hope you go ahead and just click the button, sign up for the program, be with me on this journey, and we're going to help change your life and many other people's lives as well. And hope to see you there. All right. Bye.